Hi there, Darla Delane, founder of She CEO. I am so excited to be here today to talk to you live about being and feeling empowered. All right, so this is kind of one of those words that we ladies have a whole different perspective in our lives culturally than the guys do. I think I've said somewhere before that I don't ever remember telling any of my three sons that they could be empowered to do something. They kind of always knew that. Culture told them they could, and there was just this sense that they didn't need to be told that. However, my daughter, I that's like a daily occurrence. So it is a big difference. There's a big disparity in what that word means for women and what it means for men. And today I'm going to talk about this particular word of empowered. And as a woman, what do you think, what do you feel that you need before you can be empowered? So I was thinking about this today about how there was something I wanted to do a couple of weeks ago, and I felt like I needed to wait on something from someone else before I felt empowered to do it. So, are you waiting on another person's approval? Possibly for them to say, yes, you should do that or you shouldn't. Are you hearing someone's voice in your head and hearing their approval or not? So, is approval something you wait on before you feel empowered to go do something, or before you feel empowered about something? So that was one of them that I thought of. Another one is, what is there something that you need to do before you will feel empowered? And I was kind of going through that list for myself. And for me personally, it ended up being a lot more around what other people were going to think, whether it was family or friends or my clients, if it was something for business. Sometimes it was even looking to see there was a comparison that might need to happen before I felt empowered to do something. So like trendsetters and people that are cutting edge, leading edge in expansion and in new ideas and new thoughts, do not wait for any of that before they feel empowered to share their ideas or share their message or share something in their business. So there's two places, and a lot of times we may feel differently about being empowered in our business as opposed to being empowered in our life. So if we take our life, there may be a partner in your life. And do you feel in that relationship like you are empowered to do certain things? Are there agreements you've made where you're still empowered, but you know that, out of this courtesy, you will do something first before you do it? So these kind of clear communications with partners are important sometimes. In businesses, that's important. If you've got a partner, that you need to have clear communication before you feel empowered to take action. But that doesn't mean that you can't feel empowered in general. Clear communication a lot of times gives you that support and structure to be empowered, in that I know I just need to be sure I'm being very clear in my communication, because I do that. That's part of who I am, and I am empowered to get that clarity. And I always feel empowered, like nothing is stopping me from saying something or doing something or being something. So in your life, in your personal life, are there people in your home that you live with? It's like some of us are with people we're not used to being with all the time. And there may have been things during the day that if you worked from home, you did, and now the person that didn't work from home is now home. And they may not feel as empowered to do some things that you might, because you were used to that. Or it may be that you're used to going to an office and now you're at home, and you might not be sure about what you're empowered to do. And when I say it like that, I realize it comes up with the word allowed. It's like, am I allowed to say this? Am I allowed to do that? And that then goes back to whatever rules that have been set in place, whether that's by our culture or by a community or by a family, the family culture that you're in. And so looking at and separating the difference between being allowed and being empowered, there is a difference in that allowance comes from the power of someone else. And empowered means you feel the power within yourself to take steps necessary towards what it is that you're wanting to go towards. It doesn't mean step on people. Being empowered does not mean to power over. And I think that becomes a confusion sometimes. It's like sometimes people think, well, I'm empowered to do this means I can empowered to step on people. That's not what empowered comes from. Empowered comes from that connected place to source, to universe, to God, to love. Empowerment comes from love. It comes from love of self. And when you have full love of self, you can only have full love of others. And so empowerment comes from loving yourself and loving others. Therefore, it's got to come from a place that's a win-win. And so empowered does not mean power over. Empower does not mean I wait to see if I'm allowed. So you have to clear out those. Those two pieces come from a fear base. They come from a place of worry about guilt, about punishment, about fear of something, like, somebody may not like it or someone may not like me, or some sort of fear is when you're thinking about permission or allowance from another person or culture, or if you are thinking you're going to power over them, like, I don't care what they think, I'm going to say this anyway, even if it's going to hurt a bunch of people. And if you're coming from that place, then you're not coming from a place of love and you're not really being empowered. You are just, shoving your power all over everyone. Now, sometimes things that we are empowered to say or do, someone else may perceive it in a way that it does hurt them. But if you are coming from a place of love, in your truth, in your authenticity, in what is true for you, then you are always empowered. No one can take that from you or give that to you. No one can take your empowerment or give you empowerment. That comes from you knowing that you are a human and you have that right, just like every other human has, to speak your truth, to be who you are, to step up into fully who you are. That's empowered. Empowered comes from a place of love, not from fear. Empowerment comes from a place of wanting the best out of the situation, not from wanting to shove someone down or hurt someone else. It's a really kind of tricky thing because a lot of us have different meanings for that based on our own experiences and our own perceptions. So if you can wash off the fear stuff, the anger, the upset, the frustration, the fear, the place where you feel either victimized or bullying, if you can wash that off from it and then look at it from a place of love, is this something that is going to empower you and have you feel stronger so that you grow your strength, and in turn, it's an example of strength for someone else? This empowerment then is coming from this place of love. You are not responsible for what other people think or perceive about what you do. And it's not your business what they think or perceive about what you do. It is yours about what you do. You're the only person that can know your own perceptions and where you're really coming from. And you're the only person that knows your truth. And when you are in alignment, when you are in connection with your truth, then you are empowered. This whole thing around social media is about, and the visibility is about feeling empowered to speak your truth and your authenticity. And in marketing in your business, this is how you connect with people and how they begin to know you and decide whether they are in alignment with that too, and if they trust you, so that they will then want whatever services or product that you have. So this empowerment is super important in your business. If you are doing a template from what someone tells you you should or shouldn't do, then it's not authentic. It's not coming from your empowerment. You are just kind of taking a fear-based approach to doing what someone else did and hoping that's going to work out for you. So as you are stepping forward into your own empowerment and feeling and being empowered, this is where you get to sift and sort through what you are feeling and whether that is coming from a place of real truth and real love, or whether that is coming from a place of fear. So this is your opportunity to kind of step into being in your own truth and living in your own truth and being empowered to be that way, have that empowerment, live that empowerment, so that that then controls your actions. Your actions all come from a thought. We all think something first before we do something. And so if you are thinking an empowered thought, your action then that you take from that is going to be an empowered action. If you're coming from a fearful thought, that is not an empowerment. That is a either power over or power underpowered. And that is going to be your action. Your action's going to come from a fearful place. That's going to give you more fear. And that just grows that. That's not what you're wanting. What you're wanting is exactly what it is you want that will make you happy, that everybody wants to just be happy. Everybody wants to feel good. And so your empowerment comes from that place of love, from feeling good, and from knowing that you are in your truth and being who you really are. So move forward, folks, in this empowered place of really speaking your truth. And until next time, this is Darla Delane. Go have an empowered day. See you guys soon. Bye.